is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester. Transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Coopers Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Put your money in motion. Drive VMW, VM Wealth Management. Transform your everyday.
The time by VM Wealth Management is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tawna Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Thursday, September 25, 2025. Road crashes claim 288 lives since the start of the year. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett set to retire from representational politics at end of current term. Indicom says the police silence on Cherry Tree Lane fatal shooting fuels rumors of wrongdoing. In regional news, TNT joins Global 15-5 campaign to advance digital public infrastructure. In international news, former French President Sarkozy found guilty of criminal conspiracy in Libya case. In sports, JAVFA crowns 3 champions in recent national competition. And in business, new home sales in U.S. jumped fastest pace in 3 years. The details after the break.
Perform outlast, with top performance, Jackama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy electrodes, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. With 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61124. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The government has pledged support for 18 students injured in a bus crash on Tuesday in Dublin Castle, St. Andrew. A total of 21 people were treated at hospital after the bus they were traveling in developed mechanical issues and overturned. The children are from the Louise Bennett Coverley Primary and St. Martin de Porres primary schools. The driver of the vehicle and his son received the most severe injuries. Both suffered burns caused by fluid from the vehicle's radiator. They remain hospitalized. The government says the cost of treatment for the injured individuals, including prescription medication, will be fully covered. Parliamentary Secretary in the Minister of Education, Marlon Morgan, is encouraging Jamaicans to be cautious on the roads.
As a government and as stakeholders general in the society, to continue to impress upon motorists to be diligent and very careful and responsible in our road usage, because the truth of the matter is that unfortunately crashes and accidents happen from time to time, but as road users we have to be particularly careful so as to ensure that we make our way from point A to point B safely. We know that a number of initiatives have been rolled out to foster better road usage, but we also have to impress upon parents and stakeholders generally to cover your children in peril as they go out each day.
Marlon Morgan, a parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Education. The Island Traffic Authority, ITA, is again urging motorists to exercise extreme caution when traversing the nation's roads. This as the number of people killed in road crashes across the island continues to increase. According to the ITA, 288 people died in road crashes up to September 24. It's a 6% increase when compared to the corresponding period in 2024. Up to Wednesday, there were 252 collisions recorded by the ITA. So far, 26 people have died in road crashes in September alone. Motorcyclists rank the highest, with 82 killed on the roads to date. Private motorcar drivers follow, with 57 killed since the start of the year. Pedestrian fatalities are also on the rise, with 52 fatalities recorded up to September 24. The ITA says St. Catherine has the highest number of fatalities, accounting for 15% of those recorded since the start of 2025. The ITA says majority of the crashes were a result of drivers speeding with no regard for road conditions. The Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett, says he will retire from representational politics at the end of the current term. Bartlett, who will be 73 years old in December, has served as MP for East Central St. James since 2002.
As Minister, I work at the behest of my Prime Minister, and I'm always willing to give the service as my health and my capacity allows. Within the frame of all of this, however, and I recognize that there's a timeline for everything. So I'm excited about saying to you that yes, this will be my last full term, but I want it to be understood that I have a job to do, and we're going to finish that job. And when we finish, we're going to pass on to the next generation of those who will do better than we have done.
Bartlett previously served as MP for Eastern St. Andrew from 1980 to 1993. He was the Minister of Tourism from 2007 to 2011 in the Bruce Golding-led JLP administration. He has led the portfolio since 2016 under Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Minister Bartlett says he will contribute to the process of preparing his likely successor.
And we have worked very hard in the industry. We've built new areas. We're looking at new areas for the future. In fact, I'm establishing, as you have heard already, new KPIs for the industry over the next 5 years. So I intend to complete my work, and when I'm finished with that completion, then I would have trained and built capacity to embrace and carry through the work to high heights and greater depths.
Edmund Bartlett, MP for East Central St. James, he was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Wednesday. Director at the Tourism Enhancement Fund with responsibility for the Artisan Village, Carol Rose Brown, says contrary to popular belief, many visitors to the island find it burdensome to do anything beyond lying on a beach and soaking up the sunshine. This, she reasoned, presents a challenge for the authorities in trying to direct visitors to patronize the various craft villages across the island. Siobhan Campbell heard from Rose Brown as she toured the Artisan Village in Falmouth, Trelawney on Wednesday as part of the Jamaica Product Exchange JPEX experience. Rose Brown says while some progress is being made, cruise operators remain the biggest obstacle.
The Artisan Village is an attempt by the Tourism Enhancement Fund to meld the traditional Jamaican arts and craft and cultural experiences with a modern high-tech attraction. The village, located within walking distance of the famous Falmouth Pier in Trelawney, boasts shops selling locally made crafts, restaurants, performers, and virtual and augmented reality offerings. It's designed to give tourists a truly rich cultural slice of Jamaica based on local heritage. The village's director, Carol Rose Brown, says steady progress is being made. However, the cruise operations, which would be the lifeblood of such an endeavor, remains a challenge.
Listen, we are sensibly coming along. The critical thing is to get persons, media people involved, and to get the shipping companies, the cruise companies, and the hoteliers engaged. The problem is that when people come to hotels in Jamaica, they really like to lie down on the beach. which I think they're kicking at 21. They're not coming out. Yeah, but the Cruz people have to come through. The Cruz people do not have to. Oh, they're staying on the ship. A lot of them are staying on the ship.
It's an interesting discussion to have in the shadow of two massive cruise vessels docked at the pier that day. Jamaica's cruise market is still in recovery mode, impacted heavily by the COVID-19 pandemic. 1.3 million cruise tourists visited the island last year. The bulk of that number would have docked at the Falmouth Pier. However, cruise operators hold all the cards as to whether their guests can visit such an attraction.
Cruise business is a closed business. If you come into my port, you can bring X number of people into my port. I am not going to sell I can't sell your customers a trip to the Artisan Village unless you approve it. So let's say that I have a big social media personality, and somebody comes into the port of Falmouth and says, I really should walk past the Artisan Village. That's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen for two reasons. You, the ship owner, you're going to say, don't do anything that I don't tell you. And they're going to penalize the port. Because if the port finds that I am getting too many people and they are not earning, that's not good.
It's the challenge now faced by Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett and his State Minister Tova Hamilton, who's been given direct responsibility for cruise. Ms. Hamilton is also the Member of Parliament for North Trelawney, where the Falmouth Pier is located. With the focus placed on locals first for tourism going forward, according to Minister Bartlett, solving the cruise paradox will be key to that vision. Mrs. Rose Brown believes the Artisan Village will be pivotal in seeing that vision become a reality.
So again, the purpose of the village, as I said, is we want to also sell product, but we also want to connect cultures to tourism. And possibly even more important, we want to connect our local creatives to the tourism value chain. We know that visitors come and they bring money to spend. And the kind of products, items that they find in craft markets that not normally made here, normally made in Asia, and imported. So we really wanted to find a place where artisans, because we've lost a lot of skills over the years, and we're trying to bring that to an end.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Assistant Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, Hamish Campbell, says it's a standard practice for police forces internationally to release a public statement on matters that cause a public uproar. Campbell was reacting to the uproar about the police fatal shooting of a man, 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson, in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon on September 15. The police have long insisted that they are constrained to speak on matters being probed by Indicom, lest they be accused by the watchdog of interfering with their investigations. But speaking with Nationwide News on Tuesday, Campbell says silence from the High Command serves to fuel rumors that the police may not have acted in a lawful manner.
The Commissioner of Police and superior senior command within the police, in others from my own experience, would speak out in relation to fatal shootings which have caused alarm and concern within communities and sections of the community, to try to provide reassurance and allay citizens' concerns. That's a perfectly legitimate approach by the Commissioner of Police and the police force here to do that if they wish. It doesn't interfere with, no one wants to speak to the concerned officers, of course. That's a separate matter which we will address.
Farquharson was fatally shot after security forces entered his home. The police say he was shot after he pulled a gun, but Farquharson's family are disputing those claims, saying it was an extrajudicial killing. A video showing the police entering the house has been circulating on social media. It shows Farquharson opening the front door and raising his arms as the police enter the house. Indicom says Farquharson was shot in his bedroom. Campbell says the wave of heightened public concern over Farquharson's killing is more evidence of the need for the police to employ body-worn cameras on operations.
The rising concern is repeated, we have to be candid, too often. We've now reached 226 people have been shot and killed this year. Last year's whole total was 189. The year before was 155. Now, the police have got a very significant job to do, and engage with armed and dangerous men, if they are indeed armed and dangerous, and bring them to the court. So the citizens, some sections of society will naturally be concerned, and they don't believe, right or wrong, the accounts sometimes attributed by the police to events in terms of international human rights, international practice, that in order to allay and remove all this mistrust, misunderstanding, and confusion, wear body-worn cameras.
Hamish Campbell, Assistant Commissioner of Indicom. Member of Parliament for North Central St Andrew, Delana Seawright, says he's in discussion with residents and the police with a view to strengthening security in the community of Smokyville. His comment follows the September 15 shooting death of 18-year-old high school student Jada Pollard.
The residents are shaken up. I met with quite a number of residents and the police to address a number of issues there. Smokyville is a lovely community, very quiet, very peaceful. So the residents are shaken up by what has happened, and we're moving quickly with the police and the residents to come up with enhanced measures to improve cameras, address issues as relates to entry and exit points for the community, and improve street lighting. We're urging folks to give the police information, to call Crime Stop at 311 if you have any information that can lead to the arrest of the culprit or culprits who are involved in this heinous act.
Delana Seawright, MP for North Central St Andrew. He says he's in direct contact with Pollard's family, offering support. According to reports, shortly after 1 a.m., a man entered the home where Pollard and her family were sleeping. The family became aware of his presence and raised an alarm. The intruder reportedly opened fire, hitting Pollard in the face. She was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. The Kingston Eastern Police have listed Dave Edwards as a wanted man. According to the police, Edwards is wanted in relation to the murder of a man on Mountain View Avenue in Kingston 3. The incident is said to have occurred on Wednesday, September 17. Edwards is being urged to report immediately to the Elletson Road Criminal Investigations Branch. Meanwhile, the police are appealing to anyone with information on the whereabouts of Dave Edwards to contact the Elletson Road CIB at 876-928-4200, the 119 police emergency number, Crime Stop at 311, or the nearest police station. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:16.
Decorate like a designer with BH Paints. The temperature brought to you by BH Paints is
28 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 23 degrees Celsius.
Now, PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
You wanna do your thing with your queen or your king?
Or I get a little frisky, that make you flex risky.
PrEP, are you extra bucketed?
To help you stay HIV negative.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP tablets available at your clinic from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news in Trinidad and Tobago, the Ministry of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence has announced its participation in the Global 50 in 5 campaign. The 50 in 5 initiative is a global collaboration that promotes international cooperation and exchange of best practices and technologies. Its goal is for 50 countries to design, implement, and scale at least one component of their digital public infrastructure within 5 years. As part of the initiative, TNT will join a growing coalition of nations, including CARICOM partners Jamaica, in pursuit of the targets. Other participating nations include Bangladesh, Estonia, Malawi, Norway, Singapore, and Zambia. International, a Paris court has found former French President Nicolas Sarkozy guilty of criminal conspiracy on Thursday in a case related to taking millions of euros of illicit funds from the late Libyan leader Colonel Gaddafi. He was acquitted of all other charges, including passive corruption, illegal campaign financing, and concealment of the embezzlement of public funds. Sarkozy, who claims the case is politically motivated, was accused of using the funds from Gaddafi to finance his 2007 election campaign. The prosecution alleged that in exchange, Sarkozy promised to help Gaddafi combat his reputation as a pariah with Western countries. Sarkozy, 70, was the president of France from 2007 to 2012. Sentencing is expected later on Thursday. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
Don't fall victim to deepfakes.
Watch out.
Protect yourself.
What is the
For more
TV?
information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or
Here,
scan
baby.
the QR code on screen.
Deepfake. No deepfake can't catch me.
Junior, you know say AI can make something will look and sound just like you? One day Junior get a voice note from her granny. Say the food done, the medication done, and she need money urgently.
Need money urgently? But Miss Pat no like ask people for things.
And as so comes, Judy get suspicious.
So what she do?
She asks the neighbor to go check pan her. Junior, the lady quite alright over there make her Sunday dinner.
So the voice note a deepfake?
Yes, my love. Come, your food ready.
Right now it look like we have to outsmart the AI. But wait. I really want dege dumpling you give me.
Me I wonder if AI can make one deep fake dumpling for you.
To learn more about deepfakes, visit www.broadcastingcommission.org.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Time now for your morning sports. The Jamaica Amateur Bodybuilding and Fitness Association, JABFA, crowned its latest champions at its recent national competition, with Shaquille Bowen, Kimani Kirby, and Monique Trenchfield emerging as the night's standout performers. Bowen dominated the men's physique category, walking away with both the men's physique tall class title and the coveted men's physique overall champion title. In the bodybuilding division, Kimani Kirby was the man to beat. Kirby claimed a victory in both the middleweight and classic bodybuilding classes before being crowned the overall bodybuilding champion. On the women's side, Monique Trentfield proved herself a force to be reckoned with, clinching the title of overall bikini fitness champion, along with bikini fitness tall class title. Trentfield's elegant performance and sculpted physique impressed the judges. She also showcased her versatility by placing 5th in the Bikini Wellness Open class. The event, held under the auspices of JAPFA, attracted a strong field of competitors from across the island. JAPFA says it highlights the growing popularity and high standard of bodybuilding and fitness in Jamaica. Former German tennis player Boris Becker, in his soon-to-be-released memoir, Winning, Losing and Starting Again, says he regrets winning Wimbledon at the age of 17. In 1985, when unseeded, Becker defeated Kevin Curran to lift the title, which has kept him the youngest player to win the title to this day.
Not healthy winning Wimbledon 17 in hindsight. I'd rather would have won later, maybe more often. I was in semi-finals, I lost 4. Winning at 17 couldn't have been healthy. I mean, there was no normal way out of this. I know that today.
Boris Becker. Finally, in your morning sports, all roads lead to the semi-finals of the Nationwide Quiz this Thursday, where defending champion Robian Williams will take on Ricardo Brooks and George Davis in what is shaping up to be a fiery showdown. The trio are all expressing confidence. Orain Buchanan tells us more.
The first round delivered drama and upsets as Williams overcame Tana Thomas to secure her place in the second round. Considered the underdog with odds of 8-1, Williams is unfazed by her doubters.
I am always and I will always be a true champion because I am the defending champion. We won last year, Cliff and myself won last year, and there is no doubt that I will win. There's no doubt. I mean, Ricardo is using age as a factor. And George too is pulling experience. But the underdog will show up tomorrow and I will be the champion.
Ricardo Brooks earned his spot by edging out Saeed Bernard in a tightly contested bout. Speaking confidently ahead of Thursday's clash, Brooks dismissed Williams' chances and focused his attention on George Davis.
I think composure is going to win the day, and if we look at all we've seen in the preliminary rounds, any fearless person would tell you that Ricardo Brooks has been the most composed. George Davis, in the first round of his encounter with Sondre, was under pressure, pinned down under pressure. Nobody expected that. Sondre shouldn't have been within striking distance of George at all. It shows you that he doesn't have the composure, he doesn't have the mental space to hold the line when pressure is applied, and I intend to apply the pressure in the semi-finals, and so when the dust settles, come Friday, I'll be in the finals. Ruben is a trusted colleague. She's a nice girl. She has a lot going for her, but she's not going to make the finals.
Davis, who dispatched Roden in the preliminaries, dropped a bombshell hint that he may withdraw from the competition.
Were I playing, I think the CPFSA would want to have words with me after the contest because they're going to ask me why is it that I abused the children in that matter. Both Robian and Ricardo are taking up a challenge that is beyond their capacity at this time. And the minor placings, the battle for second and third and last is going to be interesting. But there's only one winner, one judge, never few.
Though he has not confirmed the reason, speculation is swirling about scheduling conflicts. However, Brooks isn't buying that story.
The truth is George is running scared. That's what he doesn't want to tell you.
Should Davis step aside, it could drastically reshape the dynamics of the final. But with or without him, fans are promised a thrilling end to this year's edition of the Nationwide Quiz, with sparks already flying off the stage. Orain Buchanan for Nationwide Sports.
And that's it for your morning sports.
Already have a T-Tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. Now you can see funds in your T-Tag account almost immediately after topping up. So if you're already on your journey, you can safely pull off the road and top up using the My T-Tag app or WhatsApp, or ask your passenger to do it for you. And within 5 to 10 minutes, you can enjoy the lower toll rates and other benefits of the T-Tag link. Even if you forget to top up before you started your trip, top up your T-Tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
In business this morning, new figures show that sales of new homes in the U.S. surged by more than expected in August. The U.S. Census Bureau reported on Wednesday that new single-family home sales rose 20.5% to an annualized rate of 800,000 units. It says it was the fastest pace since early 2022 and well above economists' forecasts. The new figures signal a burst of activity in a frozen housing market. Analysts said the uptick was propelled by price discounts and other sales incentives from builders who are grappling with an oversupply of new built homes for sale. Economists say an easing of borrowing costs also contributed. However, they caution that with new home sales only accounting for about 14% of the market, it remains persistently frozen as affordability constraints continue to shut out prospective buyers. Nancy Vanden Houten, a lead U.S. economist at Oxford Economics, says the jump is likely an overstatement of any improvement in housing activity. She says new home sales tend to be volatile month to month. An economist at Wells Fargo has also advised caution, writing in a research note, and economists at Wells Fargo have also advised caution, writing in a research note, take the gain with a huge grain of salt. Also in business this morning, UK ministers are considering stepping in to support Jaguar Land Rover's supplies after the car maker was forced to suspend production due to a cyber attack. The attack at the end of August forced JLR to shut down its IT networks. Its factories remain suspended until next month at the earliest. Fears are growing that some suppliers, in particular the smaller firms who solely rely on JLR's business, could go bust without support. According to the BBC, one idea being explored is the government buying the component parts the suppliers build to keep them in business until JLR's production lines are up and running again. If the government were to step in, it is believed to be the first time that a company received help as a result of a cyber attack. JLR, which is owned by India's Tata Motors, would normally expect to build about 1,000 cars a day at its 3 factories, but workers were sent home following the hack with no firm return date. About 30,000 people are directly employed at the company's plants, with about 100,000 working for firms in the supply chain. And finally, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar will open trading against the benchmark US dollar, selling for an average $161.04. Against the Canadian, the Jamaican will open selling for an average $115.52. And finally, the Jamaican dollar will begin trading for an average $216.12 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:32.
Beat the heat with Fontana Pharmacy and ATL. From August 18th to September 19th, spend $10,000 or more at any Fontana Pharmacy island-wide and you'll have a chance to win amazing prizes. And the grand prize, a brand new AC unit from ATL. Simply write your full name, telephone number, social media handle, and email on the back of your receipt and place it in the entry box in store. Conditions apply. Visit our socials and website for more details. Authorized under the Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Delicious meals, poolside cocktails, right on the beach. Disconnect from the daily worries and reconnect with the one you love. There's no paradise like home. Enjoy a romantic all-inclusive escape at Couples Tower Isle in Ocho Rios from $299 per night. Take advantage of this offer today by calling Couples Resorts at 876-632-8200. Conditions apply.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Such a feeling's coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. Everything I want the world to be is now coming true, especially for me. And the reason is clear, it's because you are here. You're the nearest thing to heaven that I've seen. I'm on the top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. Something in the wind has learned my name, and it's telling me that things are not the same. In the leaves on the trees and the touch of the breeze, there's a pleasing sense of happiness for me. There is only one wish on my mind. When this day is through, I hope that I will find that tomorrow will be just the same for you and me. All I need will be mine if you are here. I'm on the top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. I'm on top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world.
A very good morning to you. Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide this morning. NTM, the big show. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us this Thursday morning. It is Thursday, September 25, 2025. As usual, happy to have all of you joining us this morning. Good morning to our friends joining us in the YouTube chat. Hello to my peeps out there in Radioland. Joining us as usual from the website or from the app. Good morning to you as well. Happy Thursday. I'm Tana Thomas.
And I'm Said Bernard. Top of the morning to you, Tana.
Hey to you.
And how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, you know. I'm good. Can't complain. Can't ball in a life, you know. Yeah, have a toast, you know, some coffee. But top of the morning to our listeners and viewers, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, boiling the tea, brewing the coffee, or you're already on the road, bringing the child to school, or, you know, bringing yourself to work. Top of the morning to you. Hope you're having a good one. Of course, it's not my favorite day of the week, but it's probably closer to one of my favorite days of the week because it's Friday Eve. It's the day before the favorite day or one of the favorite days.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see Sleeping Crocodile here in the YouTube chat saying he or she is hungry. Well, make some breakfast while listening to NTM. Sleeping Crocodile, get into your kitchen if it is that you are at home and start making some breakfast.
First of all, how you eat breakfast so early, Sleeping Crocodile? Well, Crocodile says it. Crocodile answers that question.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. I certainly cannot eat breakfast so early. Definitely nothing heavy.
Not so early. Not so early.
If I eat so early, it has to be light.
Yeah, I have to try sometime after 8, but not before.
Yeah.
Not before at all.
Same.
Yeah, not at all. Well, Tona, what's on my mind this morning?
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting to speak about this, but when I just came back, it was the election, and then last week I spoke about my return and what my journey meant. But something that I read in the newspaper a couple weeks ago, something from the Chief Justice about jury duty. And when he said what he said, which I will explain to you in short order, I really gave it some thought. And I thought that it was important to highlight it and the importance of it. And I want to speak to this morning directly to our listeners because it has to do with them, of all classes. And so Chief Justice Brian Sykes, he has once again sounded the alarm on a crisis that has been simmering in Jamaica's justice system for decades. His complaint, simple yet profound, is this: professional and well-to-do Jamaicans will go to extraordinary lengths to avoid serving on juries, leaving the burden of this civic duty to the poor. Now, this is not just a passing observation, it is a class issue. It is a justice issue, and it is a test of whether we are serious about democracy in this country. So just think about it, listeners. A jury, by its very design, is supposed to represent a cross-section of the society. A group of ordinary citizens drawn from all walks of life who come together to decide matters of guilt or innocence. It is meant to be the people's voice in justice. The rich, the poor, the educated, the unskilled, all sitting side by side, applying their common sense. That's what you're required, your common sense. And their shared values to the evidence before them. That is the ideal jury system. But what we have in Jamaica is something far removed from that, it seems. When notices go out, summons go out, too many of our professionals suddenly become indispensable to their workplaces, or they fall ill with everything but the most catastrophic diseases. They find excuses, they exploit exemptions, and they slip through the cracks. Again, not my words, but the words of the Chief Justice. And meanwhile, who ends up filling the jury benches? Our bartenders, cleaners, groundsmen, barmaids, the security guards, the working class Jamaicans who cannot escape the system, so to speak, who do not live in the gated communities, who are easy for the police to find. These are the faces of our juries, and make no mistake, they serve with dignity and seriousness. But the question is, should they be the only one carrying this weight? Let us not underestimate the burden here. For someone in a low-wage job, minimum wage job, a week or two away from work is not a minor inconvenience. It can mean lost wages. And even though some employers are benevolent enough to see it as their contribution to society to still pay their employer, that employee can still miss out on tips and other gratuities that they would have gotten had they otherwise not had this duty. Transportation costs to and from the court are not easily absorbed, and yet these are the Jamaicans who consistently answer the call because they have no shield of privilege to hide behind. Now, contrast that with the several other professionals and those who are rightly exempted do not fall into this picture. But you have people with resources, with stability, with the ability to absorb this inconvenience, as they put it. But yet they are the ones missing in action. And so, justice in Jamaica begins with inequality before the trial even starts. The composition of juries is skewed toward the poor, and that skews the very legitimacy of the system. And if you look at the impact, ladies and gentlemen, first, there's the question of fairness. How can we say a defendant is judged by a jury of his peers if the pool is overwhelmingly working class? Is a wealthy defendant being tried by his peers when not a single person of his socio-economic background is in the box? Is a professional woman charged with fraud being judged fairly if her case is decided entirely by those whose daily realities are miles away from our own? Because remember now, juries must reflect the society they serve. Otherwise, they risk reflecting only one corner of it. And that brings us to the next point of legitimacy. When citizens see that the burden of jury duty falls only on the poor, while the wealthy step aside, faith in the system erodes. People begin to ask, why should I serve if others never have to? Why should I have to sacrifice my wages and my time, my family commitments, when those with privilege escape unscathed? And this sense of unfairness breeds resentment and weakens trust in the justice system itself. And then that brings us to another point of sustainability, ladies and gentlemen. The statistics are dire. At the Supreme Court in Kingston, 4,500 jurors were summoned, only 127 turned up. Only 127 turned up. That is less than 3%. In St. Catherine, some time ago, entire sessions of the circuit court could not begin because no jurors attended, despite over 100 summonses being given. In Montego Bay, recently as well, the Mario Dean case, 300 summonses were prepared and not one juror. Not one juror. The case had to be set for another date. Which means that time was wasted, productivity was wasted. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is not a functioning system. What this is collapse in slow motion. And the Chief Justice has been clear. Let's make no mistake. This crisis demands reform. And while he has often floated the idea of expanding judge-alone trials to increase the efficiency, we must grapple with the deeper issue he keeps raising, which is the inequality of the burden. Because let's be honest, jury duty has become, in Jamaica, a tax on the poor. A tax on time, on wages, on opportunity. It is not the middle class or the elite who are paying this tax. It is those already fighting to get by. And that, I believe, listeners, is unacceptable. But let us go further now. Because the answer lies partly in privilege, but also in culture. In Jamaica, jury duty is often seen as an inconvenience rather than a duty. Too many view it as something to be dodged rather than something to be embraced. But civic duties are not supposed to be convenient. Paying taxes is not convenient. Voting on election day is not always convenient. Obeying traffic laws when you're in a rush is not convenient. But these are obligations that we fulfill because they sustain the very society that we live in. And so jury duty is no different. It is not optional. It is not charity. It is the price we all pay to live under the protection of law and order. And so the Chief Justice is right. The imbalance cannot continue. We cannot build a fair justice system on the backs of only our working class citizens. The boardroom must sit alongside the bar room. The professional must sit alongside the laborer. The wealthy must sit alongside the working poor. That is what it means to have a justice system that reflects the very society that it serves. Now, some will argue that judge-alone trials are the answer. that juries are unreliable, inefficient, and outdated. And yes, there is some merit in the argument for efficiency. But I submit this morning that efficiency without fairness is not justice. If we replace juries entirely with judges, we risk losing the democratic element of our justice system, the participation of our ordinary citizens in one of the most serious decisions a society can make. That is whether a person loses their liberty. And so, perhaps the real solution lies not in abandoning juries, but in reforming the way we manage them. That means ensuring summonses are delivered and enforced. It means publishing the data so the public can hold the system accountable. And it means confronting the class divide head on. No more hiding behind privilege. No more leaving the poor to carry the load. Jury service must be rebalanced. It must be seen not as a burden for the few, but as a duty for all. Because justice, listeners, it cannot be one-sided. Justice cannot be something the poor provide for the rich, while the rich quietly avoid their share. And if you want a Jamaica where justice is real, not just a word, not just a slogan, then every single citizen must step forward. Every class must bear their duty, and every Jamaican, from the watchman to the CEO, must be willing to sit in that jury box. Only then will we have a system that is not only efficient, but legitimate. Not only swift, which we oftentimes complain about, but fair. And only then will the words, justice for all, truly mean what they say. That's what's on my mind.
Truth is, you can live life to the fullest with HIV. This time signal is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The time is
10 minutes to 7 o'clock.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is...
It's 28 degrees in capital city Kingston, also 28 in Montego Bay, but 23 in the cool hills of Mandeville.
The following hurricane tip is brought to you by Domus Windows and Doors. Ensure all drainage infrastructure around your house is clear and there is nothing nearby that could fall inside the drain to cause a blockage. The preceding hurricane tip was brought to you by Domus Windows and Doors. Telephone 876-619-1223.
Do it for your best life. Right. Go check your HIV status. Right. So keep your life trending, no pretending. Me I tell yourself it, do it for you, do it for you. Every time you are link with a condom, coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Condom connect and protect your profile. Be your own fan. Do it for your best life. Right. Do it for your best life. Right. Don't put yourself at risk. Condom connect every time. Do it for your best life. Right.
That time of the morning when we get our first report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Hey to you, Ludlow.
Morning, Tona. Morning, Said.
Good morning, Ludlow.
And I must say I well endorse all of that you have said. Yes, indeed. Justice, fraternity, and equality. Anyway, the situation, it's a bit cloudy out here. I see the sun trying to make its way there, but it's obscured by the clouds. But the roadways have been busy this morning, so you won't escape it depending on where you are. But if you're in the lower section of, like, heading towards downtown, Stipe Road, Stipend Road, all these areas, it's good vehicular movement, but remember, it's going to be after this report Hero Circle so far moving good. If you're heading up the crossroad, you're gonna have a little build up just at the clock as you make your way towards Half a Tree or going up Polo Road. Coming down Half a Tree Road, it's already busy, and Retirement Road heading in onto Half a Tree Road, you're gonna have some traffic. I notice also a lot of traffic going up towards Maxfield Avenue from the lower section as you pass Russell Road, going up into Half a Tree Square, and also from the Hagley Park Road, heading across the Eastwood Park Road side. The same thing along Mullines Road onto Eastwood Park Road. Same thing with the traffic coming down southbound along into Half a Tree Square. Waterloo, it's movement, but it's slow moving as you make your way across the Trafalgar. And if you're going further around, towards places like Barbican Road, you can expect the build up later on as the morning progresses. But it's building so far. It's going to get a little heavier as the morning progresses. So until about 7:20, it's back to you, Donna, in the studios.
Thank you so much, Ludlow, for that first report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Up next, your word of the day. And the word of the day is spelt C-H-E-R-U-B. C-H-E-R-U-B.
Cherub. Cherub. Cherub.
Cherub is your word of the day, a noun, cherub, meaning, first definition I'm seeing here in the Bible, celestial being. In theology, at number 2 definition, a member of the second order of angels, often represented as a beautiful rosy-cheeked child with wings. Another definition, a beautiful or innocent person, especially a child. And number 4, a person, especially a child with a sweet, chubby, innocent face. Cherub is your word of the day. And to use cherub in a sentence, let's see what's provided here. The statue of a cherub stood guard at the entrance to the old cemetery, and this one seems to be connected to the definition that says a celestial being or a member of the second order of angels. And then another sentence, the baby grinned up at them, pink-cheeked and bright-eyed like a cherub, and this one is connected to the definition that says a beautiful or innocent person, especially a child, or a person, especially a child, with a sweet, chubby, innocent face. Cherub is your word of the day, spelt again, C-H-E-R-U-B. Up next, your features at the top of the hour, the news.
While there's no foolproof way to prevent memory loss or dementia, there are some simple yet effective steps you can take to keep your mind sharp. In today's episode of Coming of Age, we look at 5 practical tips that could help enhance your memory and brain health. Let's start with exercise. Physical activity is one of the best ways to boost blood flow to your brain. Regular movement not only keeps your body in shape, but it also helps maintain your memory. The Department of Health recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity each week, like brisk walking, or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise, such as jogging. If that sounds like a lot, don't worry. You can break it up into shorter sessions, like 3 10-minute walks a day. Just find a routine that works for you, and your brain will thank you. Next, let's talk about mental activity. Just like exercise helps your body, activities that challenge your brain can help keep your memory sharp. Try puzzles, reading, or learning something new like a musical instrument. You can also engage your brain by taking up new hobbies, or even volunteering. Whether it's teaching a skill or helping out at a local community group, the more you keep your mind active, the better it can fend off memory decline. Socializing plays a huge role in brain health too. Positive social interactions can lower stress and help reduce feelings of loneliness or depression, which are both linked to memory loss. Make it a priority to spend time with loved ones or meet new people, especially if you live alone. Even chatting with a friend over coffee or attending a community event can give your brain the boost it needs. Being organized can make a big difference when it comes to remembering things. If your home or workspace is cluttered, Or if your schedule is all over the place, it can be harder to keep track of things. Use a calendar or planner to jot down appointments, tasks, and important events. And when you write something down, repeat it aloud to reinforce it in your memory. Another good tip is to keep your keys, wallet, and glasses in the same spot, so you're never scrambling to find them. Minimizing distractions and focusing on one task at a time can also help you retain information more easily. Finally, don't overlook the importance of sleep. Research shows that lack of sleep can contribute to memory problems, so it's crucial to get enough rest. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. If snoring is disrupting your sleep, it could be a sign of a sleep disorder like sleep apnea, which can affect your memory. If that's the case, it might be time to talk to your healthcare provider. Remember, staying active both mentally and physically can make a big difference in preserving your memory. If you notice signs of memory loss, don't hesitate to reach out for help. Take care of your brain, and it will take care of you.
Fearless and fair, Nationwide 90 FM.
In most cases, when you head off to college, you have to share spaces with different people. Hi, I'm Tana, and these are your lifestyle pages. You must be mindful of other people. Your way is not the only way. Don't leave personal items in common spaces. Others may take it for granted. Always clean up after using the kitchen. If you plan to have a friend over, inform your roommate first. If possible, keep expensive houseware locked away. If you took something from your roommate with or without permission, replace it immediately. Keep your movies and music to a minimal, especially at late hours. Respect for space is very important. I'm Tana, and those were your lifestyle pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is
7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston or Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
28 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 23 degrees Celsius.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 for this morning, Thursday, September 25, 2025. Miss Jamaica Universe offers condolence to family of former contestant Tyra Spalding. Road crashes claim 288 lives since the start of the year. Indicom says the police silence on Cherry Tree Lane fatal shooting fuels rumors of wrongdoing. And in international news, a former French President Sarkozy found guilty of criminal conspiracy in Libya case. The details after the break.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
For the details, I'm Tana Thomas. The Miss Universe Jamaica organization is expressing deep sadness at the passing of 2023 finalist Tyra Spalding. Spalding, a 26-year-old accountant, was found dead at home Tuesday evening. The St. Andrews Central Police say she was found hanging from a bedpost with a curtain tied around her neck. Her body was discovered around 7:20 p.m. on Tuesday. In a statement early Thursday morning, Miss Universe Jamaica said the loss is profound. It says Spalding was more than a contestant, describing her as a vibrant, intelligent, and inspiring young woman whose grace and spirit touched everyone she met. The organization, on behalf of the reigning Miss Universe Jamaica, Dr. Gabrielle Henry, and national directors Mark McDermott and Carl Williams, expressed a condolence to Spalding's family, friends, and loved ones. It offered thoughts and prayers in Spalding's memory and honor. The Island Traffic Authority, ITA, is again urging motorists to exercise extreme caution when traversing the nation's roads. This as the number of people killed in road crashes across the island continues to increase. According to the ITA, 288 people died in road crashes up to September 24. It's a 6% increase when compared to the corresponding period in 2024. Up to Wednesday, there were 252 collisions recorded by the ITA. So far, 26 people have died in road crashes in September alone. Motorcyclists rank the highest with 82 killed on the roads to date. Private motorcar drivers follow with 57 killed since the start of the year. Pedestrian fatalities are also on the rise with 52 deaths recorded up to September 24. The ITA says St. Catherine has the highest number of fatalities, accounting for 15% of those recorded since the start of 2025. The ITA says majority of the crashes were a result of drivers speeding with no regard for road conditions. The government has pledged support for 18 students injured in a bus crash on Tuesday in Dublin Castle, St. Andrew. A total of 21 persons were treated at hospital after the bus they were traveling in developed mechanical issues and overturned. The children are from the Louise Bennett Coverley Primary and St. Martin de Porres primary schools. The driver of the vehicle and his son received the most severe injuries. Both suffered burns caused by fluid from the vehicle's radiator. They remain hospitalized. The government says the cost of treatment for the injured individuals, including prescription medication, will be fully covered. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Marlon Morgan, is encouraging Jamaicans to be cautious on the roads.
As a government and as stakeholders general in the society, to continue to impress upon motorists to be diligent and very careful and responsible in our road usage, because the truth of the matter is that unfortunately crashes and accidents happen from time to time, but as road users we have to be particularly careful so as to ensure that we make our way from point A to point B safely. We know that a number of initiatives have been rolled out to foster better road usage, but we also have to impress upon parents and stakeholders generally to cover your children in peril as they go out each day.
Marlon Morgan, a Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education. The Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett, says he will retire from representational politics at the end of the current term. Bartlett, who will be 75 years old in December, has served as MP for East Central St. James since 2002.
As Minister, I work at the behest of my Prime Minister, and I'm always willing to give the service as my health and my capacity allows. Within the frame of all of this, however, and I recognize that there's a timeline for everything. So I'm excited about saying to you that yes, this will be my last full term, but I want it to be understood that I have a job to do and we're going to finish that job. And when we finish, we're going to pass on to the next generation of those who will do better than we have done.
Bartlett previously served as MP for Eastern St. Andrew from 1980 to 1993. He was Minister of Tourism from 2007 to 2011 in the Bruce Golding-led JLP administration. He has held the portfolio since 2016 under Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Minister Bartlett says he will contribute to the process of preparing his likely successor.
And we have worked very hard in the industry. We've built new areas. We are looking at new areas for the future. In fact, I'm establishing, as you have heard already, new KPIs for the industry over the next 5 years. So I intend to complete my work, and when I'm finished with that completion, then I would have trained and built capacity to embrace and carry through the work to high heights and greater depths.
Edmund Bartlett, MP for East Central St. James. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Wednesday. Director at the Tourism and Enhancement Fund with responsibility for the Artisan Village, Carol Rose Brown, says contrary to popular belief, many visitors to the island find it burdensome to do anything beyond lying on a beach and soaking up the sunshine. This, she reasoned, presents a challenge for the authorities in trying to direct visitors to patronize the various craft villages across the island. Siobhan Campbell heard from Rose Brown as he toured the Artisan Village in Falmouth, Trelawney on Wednesday as part of the Jamaica Product Exchange JPEX experience. Rose Brown says while some progress is being made, cruise operators remain the biggest obstacle.
The Artisan Village is an attempt by the Tourism Enhancement Fund to meld the traditional Jamaican arts and craft and cultural experiences with a modern high-tech attraction. The village, located within walking distance of the famous Falmouth Pier in Trelawney, boasts shops selling locally made crafts, restaurants, performers, and virtual and augmented reality offerings. It's designed to give tourists a truly rich cultural slice of Jamaica based on local heritage. The village's director, Carol Rose Brown, says steady progress is being made. However, the cruise operations, which would be the lifeblood of such an endeavor, remains a challenge.
Listen, we're centimetering along. The critical thing is to get persons, media people involved, and to get the shipping companies, the cruise companies, and the hoteliers engaged. The problem is that when people come to hotels in Jamaica, they really like to lie down on the beach and eat their chicken and drink rum. They're not coming out. Yeah. But the cruise people have to come through. The cruise people do not have to. Oh, they're staying on the ship? A lot of them are staying on the ship.
It's an interesting discussion to have in the shadow of two massive cruise vessels docked at the pier that day. Jamaica's cruise market is still in recovery mode, impacted heavily by the COVID-19 pandemic. 1.3 million cruise tourists visited the island last year. The bulk of that number would have docked at the Falmouth Pier. However, cruise operators hold all the cards as to whether their guests can visit such an attraction.
The cruise business is a closed business. If you come into my port, you bring X number of people into my port. I am not going to sell I can't sell your customers a trip to the Artisan Village unless you approve it. So let's say that I have a big social media personality and somebody comes into the port of Falmouth and says, I really should go across to the Artisan Village. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for two reasons. You, the ship owner, you're going to say, don't do anything that I don't tell you. Yeah. And they're going to penalize the port. Because if the port finds that I am getting too many people and they are not earning, that's not going to happen.
It's the challenge now faced by Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett and his State Minister Tova Hamilton, who's been given direct responsibility for cruise. Ms. Hamilton is also the Member of Parliament for North Trelawney, where the Falmouth Pier is located. With the focus placed on locals first for tourism going forward, according to Minister Bartlett, solving the cruise paradox will be key to that vision. Mrs. Rose Brown believes the Artisan Village will be pivotal in seeing that vision become a reality.
So again, the purpose of the village, as I said, is we want to, of course, sell product, but we also want to connect culture to tourism. And possibly even more important, we want to connect our local creatives to the tourism value chain. We know that visitors come and they bring money to spend. And the kind of products, items that they find in craft markets, normally made here, normally made in Asia, and imported. That's about it. So we really wanted to find a place where artisans, because we have lost a lot of skills over the years, and we're trying to bring that to an end.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Assistant Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, Hamish Campbell, says it's a standard practice for police forces internationally to release a public statement on matters that cause public outrage. Campbell was reacting to the uproar related about the police fatal shooting of 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon on September 15. The police have long insisted that they are constrained to speak on matters being probed by Indicom, lest they be accused of interfering with the watchdog's investigations. But speaking with Nationwide News on Tuesday, Campbell says silence from the High Command serves to fuel rumors that the police may have not acted in a lawful manner.
The Commissioner of Police and superior senior command within the police, in others from my own experience, would speak out in relation to fatal shootings which have caused alarm and concern within communities and sections of the community, to try to provide reassurance and allay citizens' concerns. That's a perfectly legitimate approach by the Commissioner of Police and the police force here to do that if they wish. It doesn't interfere with, no one wants to speak to the concerned officers, of course. That's a separate matter which we will address.
Farquharson was fatally shot after security forces entered his home. The police say he pulled a gun at them, but Farquharson's family is disputing the claims, saying it was an extrajudicial killing. A video showing the police entering the house has been circulating on social media. It shows Farquharson opening the front door and raising his arms as the police enter the house. Indicom says Farquharson was shot in his bedroom. Campbell says the wave of heightened public concern over Farquharson's killing is more evidence of the need for the police to employ body-worn cameras on operations.
The rising concern is repeated, we have to be candid, too often. We've now reached 226 people have been shot and killed this year. Last year's whole total was 189. The year before was 155. Now, the police have got a very significant job to do, and engage with armed and dangerous men, if they are indeed armed and dangerous, and bring them to the court. So the citizens, some sections of society will naturally be concerned, and they don't believe, right or wrong, the accounts sometimes attributed by the police to events in terms of international human rights, international practice, that in order to allay and remove all this mistrust, misunderstanding, and confusion, wear body-worn cameras.
Hamish Campbell, Assistant Commissioner of Indicom. Member of Parliament for North Central St. Andrew, Delana Seavright, says he's in discussions with residents and the police with a view to strengthening security in the community of Smokyville. His comment follows the September 15 shooting death of 18-year-old high school student Jada Pollard.
The residents are shaken up. I met with quite a number of residents and the police to address a number of issues there. Smokyville is a lovely community, very quiet, very peaceful. So the residents are shaken up by what has happened, and we're moving quickly with the police and the residents to come up with enhanced measures to improve cameras, address issues as relates to entry and exit points for the community, and improve street lighting. We're urging folks to give the police information, to call Crime Stop at 311 if you have any information that can lead to the arrest of the culprit or culprits who are involved in this heinous act.
Delana Seavright, MP for North Central St. Andrew. He says he's in direct contact with Pollard's family. According to reports, shortly after 1 a.m., a man entered the home where Pollard and her family were asleep. The family became aware of his presence and raised an alarm. The intruder reportedly opened fire, hitting Pollard in the face. She was pronounced dead at hospital. And in international news now, a Paris court has found former French President Nicolas Sarkozy guilty of criminal conspiracy on Thursday in a case related to taking millions of euros of illicit funds from the late Libyan leader, Colonel Gaddafi. He was acquitted of all other charges, including passive corruption, illegal campaign financing, and concealment of the embezzlement of public funds. Sarkozy, who claims the case is politically motivated, was accused of using the funds from Gaddafi to finance his 2007 election campaign. The prosecution alleged that in exchange, Sarkozy promised to help Gaddafi combat his reputation as a pariah with Western countries. Sarkozy, 70, was the president of France from 2007 to 2012. Sentencing is expected later on Thursday. And that's it for the news at 7.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:16.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocho-Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Drax Hall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
29 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay, and it's now 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Delicious meals, poolside cocktails, right on the beach. Disconnect from the daily worries and reconnect with the one you love. There's no paradise like home. Enjoy a romantic all-inclusive escape at Couples Tower Isle in Ocho Rios from $299 per night. Take advantage of this offer today by calling Couples Resorts at 876-632-8200. Conditions apply.
Now, PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
You want to do your thing with your queen or your king.
Or I get a little frisky that make you flex risky.
PrEP, are you extra bucketed?
To help you stay HIV negative.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP tablets available at your clinic from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
That time of the morning when we get our second report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Hey again to you, Ludlow.
Hey, Tona, morning time again.
Morning time again.
We can see the sun now, and it's getting a bit brighter, and the clouds are above still, but the roadways, we looked out on the east, the westbound side there, west going east, those vehicles coming off the causeway onto Marcus Garvey. There's a lot of traffic, long line of traffic along Marcus Garvey Drive from the 6 miles area also onto Marcus Garvey Drive, heading all the way down southbound into downtown Kingston and Harbour Street. Lots of traffic there. However, contrasting with them, on the other side, if you're in the Bull Bay area, yes, you're going to have some traffic at that roundabout by that Bull Bay sign, and it's going to take you to the Harborview roundabout where there is traffic there. However, once you get on the Sir Florida Glasspool Highway, it's going to be smooth. Yes, there's traffic, but it's moving. And also Michael Manley Boulevard and Port Royal Street. Those areas, they're going past the Greytown Fishing Village, no problems there. So two contrasting areas there. But going uptown, as I said, it's kind of busy now going up Slipe Road, and it's busy going around that area like Slipe Road, Orange Street, East Street. All these areas have the traffic, but it's also traffic uptown. Manor Park coming down, Hunton Spring Road coming down, Havendale, onto Mannington Road, Red Hills Road, and also Washington Boulevard, all the way to Dunrobin to 6 miles. Those areas are really busy. If you're on the other side, if in the Papine area, it's going to be busy along on Mona Road and going into Papine Square, also busy, as well as also in the Matilda's Corner area, where you also have lots of traffic. Remember, the embassy is in that area also, so it's going to attract traffic. People crossing, motorists parking, and all of that. So it's a busy Thursday morning, and no doubt the traffic will continue in other areas, and it's going to build in many other areas as the morning progresses. So at this time, I want to say, drive smartly at Street Smart. Your safety is our concern. Connor, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Ludlow, for that second report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Up next, the front page.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned into our discussion segment, The Front Page. This morning on The Front Page, focusing on an important social program, an update on the overhaul of PATH. So the ongoing overhaul of the program of advancement through health and education PATH is being done to ensure that only those individuals and families who are in a vulnerable state can enjoy the benefits under this social safety net. The flagship program provides conditional cash grants to vulnerable families. Its purpose is to increase educational attainment, improve health outcomes, and help alleviate poverty among vulnerable Jamaicans. PATH reform will involve stakeholder consultations, two technical groups reviewing design and rules, and a minister-led steering committee reporting progress. For more on the overhaul of PATH, we're being joined by the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr. Good morning to you.
Morning to you, Tona, and morning to Said and to all of your listeners.
Good morning, Minister, and happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, greetings also coming from your family. We'll expound on that in the birthday segment.
You know it's getting bad when you start meetings on the birthday and don't even remember it's your birthday. It's terrible.
Oh, you never remember?
Well, remember what? It's up until yesterday evening.
Oh.
I was talking to my team and they said, Minister, let's ease up on the schedule now. I said, go home. I said, oh yes, you're right.
Oh, PATH is on your mind. Well, let's talk about what's on your mind then. The overhaul of PATH, Minister, where are we with that?
Let me firstly say, PATH is the most popular social assistance program in the country. And that comes with good things and bad things. Good things that PATH, despite all the challenges, has served hundreds of thousands of persons, hundreds of thousands of children, elders, pregnant and lactating mothers, indigent persons with disabilities, several. But there are several more who wanted to get on, who thought they should get on, who didn't get on. There are several who are on, stayed on, and they shouldn't have remained on because their circumstances changed. And then there are several who said to themselves, because of the perceptions, I'm not even going to bother to try to get on to PATH. So the Prime Minister in his wisdom instructed when myself and Dr. Dunn at the time in 23 went to Labour that this be a priority. So we pushed out with a three-pronged approach to the review. One, the World Bank was doing an in-depth review of some of the technical aspects, which is pretty much complete now. The PIOJ also has completed their review, and the Ministry of Labour, through two technical working groups looking on different aspects relating to operational and just the whole procedure and regulations around PATH, is completing their review with the several town halls that Jamaica knows that we did, and the TikTok live that I did yesterday, and other consultations with the country. So this is critical because we want to create a modern, reliable, fair, transparent program that is achieving the goal and mitigating from any manipulation, and most importantly, ensuring that the lived reality and the perception is aligned. So if it is that PATH is working, people should feel that it is working. And if it is not, people should know it is not and be able to adjust and make the corrections.
And one of the things you said, Minister, earlier this year was that the ministry recognizes that PATH is heavily reliant on the ownership of certain physical household assets and consumer durables, and how that was an aspect of it that needed to be reformed. You just mentioned that you had several town hall meetings. At those town hall meetings, what else were you hearing from persons, whether they be persons who were applying and didn't get onto the program, or persons who were kicked off the program when they should still be on the program? What did you hear out of those town halls that will inform this reform process?
So I break up the commentary and the issues raised into four. Number one was relating to the preliminary assessment, that evaluation where somebody sits down in front of an officer and you are asked a series of questions coming out of our proxy means test, including those questions about where do you live, how many persons in your household, and what you have in your house. And sometimes that can be very, very intrusive and embarrassing. And people will ask the question, so hold on, if I don't have a pit latrine, I can't get on the path. If I have a stove or a TV, but I know me by the stove. And my uncle said me, things like that.
Oh, that's a common one, asking if people have an inside bathroom.
Very, very common issue. And it is a real issue, so but that's one. Number two, related to the verification process. So you have gone through, you are questioned, you're approved by the Proximine system. However, you have to wait now for a social worker to attend upon your household to verify you. And that can take a long time based on what we're told. Weeks, months, sometimes, unfortunately, years. The third is recertification, which means you've gone through, you're questioned, you're approved, you're verified, you're on path. 4 years has passed, and you're now at that stage where you are to be reassessed to see whether you come off or you stay on. And that recertification process has been a significant handicap because many persons have not been recertified, which means you're just in a purgatory. You're not getting any support, you're not really off, you're not really on, you're just in that abeyance. And fourthly is just the general customer service and perceptions around PATH, which has caused many persons to crystallize in their mind that it doesn't even make sense for me to go on unless I have links and the sabotage thing and if you don't know somebody at the parish office, it makes sense. And that's their lived reality. So what I try to do is not to bark back or to say, well, that's not true. It could very well be true to you based on how you feel, or maybe it's even true in some aspects. The reality is we recognize, acknowledge that there are issues, and that is why we have set out on this very, very in-depth review, which I must tell you, we don't define it based on it being fast or time. We define this efficiency based on it being comprehensive and effective, which is why it has taken some time. And we intend to make sure that at the end of it, the almost 300,000 beneficiaries, which include a large amount of children, almost 2/3 are children, and another big bulk is elderly, that they will be best served, and that we will create other streams that respect the fact, and this is another issue too, that some persons have additional issues, such as persons with disabilities or other things, which may need to have more specific streams that are providing support based on their circumstances.
One of the things you itemized just now, Minister, the recertification process, is this something that's done annually?
No, not annually. It's done over periods. Put it this way, yes, it's done annually, but for every individual beneficiary, it's done over 4-year periods. Annually, you are engaged and assessed, but the recertification process, which with the technical removal and being re-inputted, is done over 4-year periods.
And you've heard from persons who are saying they're left in limbo because the PATH personnel are taking too long to carry out that process.
It's not that simple. So it's not just blame the personnel. It's more the actual system itself. The whole technology and the mechanisms have left much to be wanted. So it is.
What do you mean when you say the technology?
Meaning you have a system that identifies when you are at the stage to be certified, and then there are certain things that are to be done to make sure you proceed in terms of the whole transition of assessment, and then the determination of whether you continue or you're removed. And the technical aspects of that have given problems just as much as the other issues relating to the number of staff that are needed, the competence, the efficiency of the operations. So it's I wouldn't want to say just personnel. That would give a wrong impression. It's more than that.
So data management is an issue?
Yes, it is an issue. Data management, and beyond data management, the actual mechanism that is used is now under review to see how we can resolve the technical issues to make sure that there are no glitches that are inadvertent leaving people in this abeyance.
Hold it right there, Minister. We're going to take a break and come back with more from you.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:32.
One money, two combo. Burger King pick two, come back again. Yo, that is it. Any two combo, double deal quick. It's a good look, pick any two you wish. Whopper Junior bacon and cheese, my favorite. American chicken sandwich or grab a big fish. Plus 2 small fries and 2 small drink. Double deal for my money and it have me a sing. One money, two combo. Burger King pick two, come back again. Yo, get BK double deal now on a Burger King. Burger King pick two, come back again. Yo.
Big news, Jamaica. September 22nd to 27th is the week to shop. The Everything Home Sale is happening at Active Home Center. Enjoy up to 40% off selected furniture, from sofas to beds and dining sets designed to refresh your space. Plus, choose from over 800 tiles with exciting new arrivals. Don't miss store-wide savings on bathrooms, windows, doors, and more. Just 6 days only in Kingston and Montego Bay. Active Home Center, more savings, more choices.
7:33. Thank you so much for staying with us. We're speaking with the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Minister Pernell Charles, on the update on the overall of the PATH program. Minister, you're with us, right? You laid bare the issues that the program has been facing, and you said some have been reviewed that brought you to this conclusion, but some other things like the data issues are now in review as well. Is this a part of phase 1, or are we in another phase?
So we've passed phase 1. Phase 1 was the gathering. Okay. So we went out, we went from parish office to parish office, we met with the staff, we made sure to speak to the most experienced staff, the newest staff, to get a range of perspectives on what's taking place in our interaction with our clients. We met with random clients who were at the office, who were on the street, which covered through all of the comments and the cries about PATH. So that was phase 1. Phase 2 was bring into the setting up of the various committees and elements to drive the review forward. And we're now at the stage, having completed most of that review process, of restructuring towards some, so we can easily get identifying the challenges. But I tell you this, Jamaica knows the challenges. A lot of the persons who were on wanted.
Minister, you're sounding a bit choppy. You're chipping in and out. Are you moving?
You're hearing me better now?
I'm hearing you better now, yes.
Yes. I'm saying to you that we can easily end up getting sort of bogged down discussing just the challenges. Mm-hmm. What I've said to my team this week is we have to be solution-oriented, which means where there's a problem, let us define it as something that can be solved. And so we are in that phase of ensuring that the solutions that we define are practical, they are efficient, they can be communicated to our clients, to the country, in a way that they understand, and so they can also own a part of this, and that they will be effective and sustainable.
So are we now in phase 2 or phase 3?
I would call it phase 3.
We're in phase 3.
Which is moving towards the final phase, where we are defining the solutions, we are completely restructuring what this will be, and we are now knocking heads and intellect to see, all right, we know the challenge, we know the data, what next? Okay. What is the best system to replace this system? What's the way forward in terms of ensuring we have enough social workers? What are we looking at in terms of the infrastructure that is required to really greet clients in a way to respect that some may be persons with disabilities, some of the elders can't go upstairs. There's so many things that have been exposed and revealed from this that are going to make the delivery of service to Jamaicans much better once we get this right. So we are taking that collective team approach, and we're working across ministries. We're working with the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information because they have a large part to play in terms of particularly our PATH students. And we're working across ministries to make sure that as we talk about PATH as the flagship social assistance program, we also look on all of the things that are impacted by or that impact us getting PATH right.
And as it relates to the timeline of this phase, what are we looking at?
Well, I'm hoping, and I'm very ambitious and optimistic, that by the end of this fiscal year, we would have completed all review, completed the technical work, and we would have at that stage completed the definition of what at least the options for the solutions can be. And when I say that, I mean, for instance, the replacement of the proxy means test is going to be very, 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 very important, and it will cause us to perhaps look internationally for some support to define that way forward. So I'm looking at the end of our fiscal year 25-26 for us to finish this phase.
And during this transition, you said the end of the fiscal year, hopefully this phase will be through. But during this transition and the implementation of the solutions coming from this phase, what can the current beneficiaries expect? Do they expect disruptions in their system or what?
A great question. So what we're doing is where we identify issues like the recertification issue, we're not going to wait until phase 4 and completion. We are defining the short-term or the interim solutions to address that. So we have already pulled out some of the persons who would have been in that purgatory, and we are working towards, within the next month, a solution for at least the majority that we can confirm that are still on the program, that will see them having an expedited process for recertification. Part of it is going to see us putting more of a focus of our team on addressing those issues speedily. And again, I know it's going to take strain. I want to use the opportunity to say thank you to the MLSS team. They've been under strain. From hurricane, anything that happens, they're under strain. But we're going to call on them again to see that we can really clean up the list to make sure that who is to be recertified, that we can confirm is recertified within the next 6 months.
And earlier as well, Minister, you mentioned that as part of the review that the ministry is thinking about creating new streams to benefit. What is being considered there?
So right now, take for instance, if you are a mother of a child who has a disability, and you happen upon the PATH office, and I'm listen to me very carefully, listeners. The fact that you have a disability or a medical condition is not going to immediately get you onto PATH, because it's looking on your capacity of your household to be able to sufficiently help you. So if you are in a house where you can get the help, then you wouldn't be eligible for PATH. But if you do have, for instance, a disability and you go to PATH, it's the same questionnaire that is used to evaluate you. But that's just not fair. What is needed is we need to expand beyond that to really consider persons based on their circumstances. So if you're in a low-income household, that's one eligibility. But if you also have this additional issue, you should be seen in my view, in a different light, and there should be some additional evaluations to determine what is the reasonable support that you need. And that's part of what we are doing right now. Matter of fact, we're bringing in an expert, or we have already brought in an expert to assist us in re-looking on all of those elements that are needed to make sure that in the interim, before we reach to the final product, that we are not just creating interim solutions, but we use it almost like a pilot to see what works best, to make sure that we continue the public consultations, and to make sure that the final product is something that has gone through rigorous evaluation. So you see me doing more TikTok lives, did it yesterday. We had close to 10,000 persons coming on and off. And we're going to do much more of that, inviting persons who have any interest in PATH, in farm work, in all of these issues, pension, in youth, in terms of employment, all of these things. We're going to do much more engagement on social media so we can hear from you, collect your concerns, and give you an opportunity to be a part owner in creating these solutions for the country.
I think it's important to ask you this then, as it relates to the changes, and so people can expect or not expect to have pit latrine in order to get on PATH when the program is reformed.
So I put it this way: if you have a pit latrine, it is one of the elements that establish that you are low income. And that is a reality. And when your listeners listen, they have to listen without just the immediate emotional response. A pit latrine versus a flush toilet, it does show that you're in a different situation. The question really is not whether if you have the pit latrine. The question is, if you have the flush toilet, does it mean that you will not get onto PATH? And the answer to that is no. If you have flush toilet, if you have stove, if you have TV and all of these things, it's just about putting it in context, because many persons have a household full of things, but they don't buy one thing. Right? Exactly. So we are retraining the minds. The issue is that the proxy means test doesn't think outside of its questions, which is why it's important to tell people, let's not get concerned only about the test, because there's an appeal process. So if you go ahead and you do the evaluation and it says, well, because you have these things, you're not approved, you still have the next step of appealing so that a more qualitative examination can be carried out from our social workers to really see what is your situation. But that base test, it actually makes sense when you think about it. It's just that Jamaica has evolved over 20 years, and so some of the questions and some of the articulation of the questions needs to be reshaped so it's not intrusive or seen as disrespectful or embarrassing to anyone.
But when can we expect this entire overhaul? Because, I mean, it's very important that it be done, and it will take time because a lot of teething pains will arise in trying to do the implementation and the monitoring and the evaluation. So when can we expect, Minister, for you to make an announcement that the full overhaul is done, it's been improved, and we're now working with a new system, a new path, and we're good to go? When can we expect that announcement?
I've been very careful, and I said it at the first stage of this interview, to make it clear that we're defining efficiency not by just time. Yes, time is an element, but not just time, but making sure that whatever we're doing is comprehensive and effective. So in phases, we expect that this phase of completing the technical reviews and starting to define some of the more mechanic solutions should end or be at least completed or near completion by the end of this fiscal year, which is in April, March of 2026.
Right.
And we would hope that thereafter we will be able to speedily move towards what that restructured program will be. I have in my mind, I'm hoping that if not by end 2026, that in 2027 we would have something that is complete. But I think more importantly than just setting timelines is ensuring that what we're doing is being done in the right way. And so that's what I've focused the team on, being as efficient as possible, but really just getting it right. We get one shot to do this. Right. This is the big program, and we want to do it right.
Minister, if we could just keep you for a little bit longer, take a break and come back with more.
Sure.
Bird fried chicken always ready.
Bird Shack, original crispy. Bird Shack, Cajun spicy. Bird Shack, a barbecue. Bird Shack, we are the Bird Shack.
The time brought to you by Bird Shack Fried Chicken in Montego Bay and Ocho Rios is
7:46.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
29 degrees in capital city Kingston, 29 out west in Montego Bay, and 24 in the cool hills of Mandeville.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, having a very important conversation about the overhaul of the PATH program, with the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr. Earlier in the conversation, Minister Charles Jr. told us about the reviews that are taking place, about how to review and make better that Proximine testing model, as well as making more seamless and efficient the recertification process. Having more social workers who are the ones that normally come and do the assessment of those seeking to get onto the PATH program, as well as an overhaul of the general customer service for persons interacting with PATH personnel. Minister, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
We are also seeing a lot of interaction in the YouTube chat. As you know, we have a very active YouTube community on this topic. And one of our YouTubers, Carleen Smith, she's asking, is there any plan to have skills development such as HEART and PATH cooperating on some level?
Excellent thinking. That happens already. So we have a Steps to Work program, which is a program within the PATH support that offers work experience for PATH beneficiaries. And we do have collaboration with HEART that provides a streamline of persons, including PATH beneficiaries, but not exclusive to them, to the HEART program for them to get skills training and then to be readily placed in jobs where they can gain work experience. We also have grants, tertiary grants for students who are PATH beneficiaries, as well as back-to-school grants for students who are PATH beneficiaries. And a lot of these move from grant support, just naturally and inherently into those persons getting either directed to or being naturally supported to move towards hard skills training.
And the final one before we let you go on a different topic, but in relation to your portfolio, you have a state minister now, Minister Charles Jr. Any particular responsibilities for Mr. Williams?
So Donovan Williams brings a very special set of skills. So he's an advocate. He has served in the courts, and I know that he has a wide experience in terms of being able to help with the legislation. So he's going to focus on one big area that the Prime Minister is talking about, which is productivity. But more importantly, I think, is that he's going to be in charge of special projects. And those special projects will give him an opportunity not to stay in an isolated portfolio space, but to really help me in targeting the gap areas. So some of the areas across from work permit, farm work, across the board that either have not been sufficiently attended to or need some special care and focus, those are the areas where we're going to ask Minister Williams to step up in terms of leadership and to help me so that the delivery of service to our clients, to the people of Jamaica, is maximized in its potential, and that the staff members that we have also know that they are valued. So we have a lot of work to do. I'm very, very happy that we have Minister Williams there. He has been with me now for the last 3 days or so in meetings from morning to night. And I know that he's going through a rigorous orientation and that he's eager to get going in terms of just getting the work done.
And another one of our listeners asking about the occupational safety bill, seeking an update on that.
Well, I am pleased to say that it is at its how can I put it? It's at its furthest stage as ever before. The bill is probably older than me, and we are intent on ensuring that it is completed. It's now with the CPO to have some final analysis from the experts with the Chief Parliamentary Office team. And when it is returned to us, it should be either in its penultimate or in its final stage before we take it to legislation committee. So we have gone a far way. It's one of the things that Minister Williams will also be assisting with based on his own professional experience. For us to go through and make sure that the product that we have for the country is one that is really comprehensive. Let me just say this quickly. I want Jamaica to know that even if once you put this bill forward, we still do want to have a period where the bill in its practical use continues to be evaluated. So we expect that even after the bill is tabled, that we want to continue to have Jamaica with us in dialogue to make sure that the practical understanding of OSH and implementation of the regulations continues to be something that is at the forefront of our minds.
You hold a very important portfolio, Minister Charles Jr., the social safety net of the country, and everybody here, I think, looks forward to the overhaul of the PATH program, making it more efficient and seamless for those in need in the country.
Thank you. We have unemployment insurance coming as well. We have Spiro, which is being rolled out, which will help efficiency across the ministry. We have the reform of the Farm Work Overseas Employment Program, digitization of work permits. So in addition to PASS, there is so much taking place. Labor market information system reform, so much taking place, which we are going to be communicating. We're going to be working with you to make sure that we carry the country along, continue to educate and bring awareness, and that all Jamaica can own the reforms that are taking place to make Jamaica stronger.
Colonel Charles Jr., the Minister of Labour and Social Security. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. All the best.
Turning our attention now to the future of parish status for Portmore following the general elections. Now, the process to have Portmore become the 15th parish was stalled in the last term of the Holness administration, with the opposition accusing the government of gerrymandering. Now that the elections are over, what is the future of the parish status for Portmore? We're being joined by State Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and, importantly, the MP for East Central St. Catherine, Orlando Terrelong. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Hi, morning to you and to our listeners. It's good to join you all this morning for this important discussion as we move Jamaica on this path, very, very historic path.
Thank you so much for joining us here on NTM for the front page. Now, Minister Terrelong, MP Terrelong, what's the update in relation to Portmore and this move to become Jamaica's 15th parish?
So as you are aware, we had passed legislation in Parliament regarding establishing Portmore as Jamaica's 15th parish. Since then, a boundaries committee, a constituency boundaries committee, has been set up in Parliament, and the matter has been moved now to the ECJ, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, for them to proceed with the necessary field work to map the new boundaries for St. Catherine as well as for Portmore.
Talks about gerrymandering. Your response to that?
Well, it was literally a part of the political hoax by the opposition to delay this very historic movement that will benefit the people of Portmore and the people of Jamaica. It is very clear that there are some persons who refuse to choose Jamaica. It is very clear that some persons refuse for Jamaica to move forward, on the sort of growth and development trajectory that this government led by Andrew Holness has put in place for our people. And it can't just be opposing for opposing sake or opposing because you want to have this sort of one-upmanship in the political arena. We have to put Jamaica first, and that means all hands on deck, working together for the betterment of the people. So this notion of gerrymandering, it was literally a political hoax, a delay tactic. You saw the opposition doing it just before the local government election in 2024. And our Prime Minister is one with great integrity and great credibility. And what we did as a government was to delay the passing of the relevant legislation to make Portmore a parish, because we didn't want the sort of the continuation of this nonsensical argument about gerrymandering leading up to the local government election in 2024. The argument was again used just before the 2025 elections, and the fact that the very essence of the gerrymandering argument was that the government was somehow trying to make Portmore a parish to save Alanda Terrelang. Again, that was all dispelled with the results of the general election, where we beat the PMP's candidate by some 985 votes. So it is clear that we can put that argument to rest. When you have a government and a member of parliament and a team of councillors and workers generally who are working in the best interest of the people across the constituencies and across the country, it is clear that the people will return that member of parliament to power, as we have done with my East Central family, and it is clear that the people will return that government to power, as was done across Jamaica. So now that we have put that gerrymandering argument to rest, we can now move forward with the business of the growth and development of Portmore and all the benefits that will flow from Portmore becoming a parish.
When the Director of Elections was on some time ago, he said that as part of the process, there's normally a committee that's established with members from both sides of the political aisle that would come together as consultations also get underway in Portmore before the area is completely established as a parish. Do you know if that has been set up, if members from the JLP side have been identified to sit on that committee?
Okay, well, the first committee that was established was the Constituency Boundaries Committee of Parliament. So that has been established and that committee met. Now, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, there are two other committees that they must establish, and those committee members will proceed with the field work. I am waiting for confirmation from the Ministry of Local Government that those committees have been set up by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. This should have been done from, at the very least, I believe about May, June. Mm-hmm. But considering that the country was being prepared for a general election, I am not certain that the ECJ has moved ahead. But I'm now awaiting response from the Ministry of Local Government that has been done, because the ECJ, one of the first things they need to do is again to write to the Ministry of Local Government to ensure that they have the requisite outlay for the boundaries for the new St. Catherine and for the new Portmore. Because naturally, once Portmore is removed from St. Catherine, the boundaries of St. Catherine itself will have to be realigned. They will now have to go into the field to literally walk the boundaries of both parishes. They will have to now look at how electoral divisions are affected, and all of these things have to be mapped. And once that process is completed, then naturally they will have to now sign off with the general secretaries from both political parties, the relevant members of parliament. Constituencies will have to be renamed, not just in St. Catherine, not just in Portmore rather, but potentially in St. Catherine as well. So for example, a constituency might be East Central St. Catherine, but in the new parish of Portmore, it might now be, let's say, North Central or North Portmore and so forth. So all of that process is what now needs to be completed, signed off by the general secretaries of both parties, signed off by the relevant members of parliament, and then we move forward back to parliament, and then the process is finalized.
This doesn't sound like something that's going to happen anytime soon.
No, and that's
Mr. Terrelang.
We must move away from the notion that everything needs to be tied up in a gridlock of bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. The modern Jamaica requires that we all think in terms of getting things done in a more efficient manner. And that is one of the things that this government has sought to introduce. Even when you look at recent decisions about having one central authority to deal with roadworks across Jamaica, as opposed to this division in terms of what is parish road, what is local road, what is central government road, what are main roads, and so forth. So this is some of the things that we're looking at. How do we cut the bureaucracy in our country to ensure that we move forward in a more efficient way? And the Jamaica, led by Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party government, is a Jamaica that prides itself on efficiency, maximizing growth and development as we move forward to the eradication of poverty in this third term.
We're speaking there with Alanda Terlong, the MP for East Central St. Catherine, and also the State Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, one we will continue to watch in relation to Portmore becoming a parish. Alanda Terlong, thank you so much for your time this morning.
No, it's my pleasure. And just to reiterate that the several benefits include, Portmore becoming truly autonomy, being removed and no longer tied to Spanish Town. Portmore taxis doing more for residents of Portmore in terms of greater property value, increased personal wealth, greater citizen security and peace, the new hospital and greater healthcare facilities, the modern tech hub and youth innovation centers, Portmore becoming the tech capital of the Caribbean, greater employment opportunities, and just the list goes on in terms of improved infrastructure, road networks, and so forth. So it's a modern Portmore that will ultimately be the destination, the choice for all Jamaicans to live, raise families, do business, and ultimately retire.
And we have to leave it there. Going to take a break now here on Nationwide This Morning. Up next, Across Jamaica.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
When you want the food shell and make the rice well, just give me me Kende. Well, it's all K-E-N-D-E-A. Give me Kende.
Another quality product from the Carimed Group.
Just give me Kende.
The time by Kendall Foods. The taste of quality is
8:03.
Success powered by learning. The temperature brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is
29 degrees in capital city Kingston and in Montego Bay, and 24 out west, not out west, in the cool hills of Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's Across Jamaica This Morning.
In Across Jamaica this Thursday morning, 30 farmers from the Mason River area in Clarendon recently graduated from the EU GOJ-funded Farmer Field Schools program. The syllabus included topics such as integrated and sustainable land management practices. The locally adapted program aims to raise awareness among farming communities about sustainable and responsible farming practices. This, as implementing partners say, while farmers are knowledgeable about traditional practices and methods, they often lack formal training in or awareness of current or approved practices. The community of Mason River is part of the Mason River Protected Area. It is located at the border of Clarendon with St. Anne. Mason River is an internationally recognized Ramsar site, well known for its rich biodiversity. It's one of the wetland ecosystems targeted for the Farmer Field Schools program under a project entitled Jamaican Path from Hills to Ocean, otherwise called Hills to Ocean JA. The project is jointly funded by the European Union Global Climate Change Alliance Plus and the Government of Jamaica. The Planning Institute of Jamaica is the executing agency, with support from two implementing partners, the National Environment and Planning Agency and the Rural Agricultural Development Authority. Two teenagers have been charged with simple larceny following an incident on Barracks Road, Savamore, Westmoreland on September 13. Reports are that about 4:40 p.m., the teenagers allegedly went to a man's house and stole his 2016 Zamco motorcycle from his garage. The motorcycle is valued at approximately $260,000. The man reported the matter to the police. Investigators subsequently arrested the teenagers during an operation. Their court date is being finalized. Finally, in across Jamaica, detectives assigned to the St. Anne Police Division have named Jordan Hyde, otherwise called Tupac of Windsor Heights, Marley, St. Anne's Bay in St. Anne, as a person of interest. The police believe Hyde can assist with an ongoing investigation into several incidents in the parish. He is urged to turn himself into the police immediately. Hyde, or anyone knowing his whereabouts, is being asked to contact the St. Anne's Bay Criminal Investigation Branch at 876-972-2211, the National Intelligence Bureau tip line at 811, Crime Stop at 311, the 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Thursday morning.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hatley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Looking for a jam or preserve to fill your sweet cravings, but worried about calories or high sugar content? Well, look no further. Try Smucker's sugar-free fruit jams and preserves with so many tasty flavors to choose from. Grape jam, strawberry, red raspberry, blueberry preserves, and orange marmalade. With a name like Smucker's, it must be good. Find them at retail outlets island-wide. Distributed by Chassis Ramson.
One money, two combo. Burger King pick two, come back again. Yo, that is it. Any two combo, double deal quick. It's a good look, pick any two you wish. Whopper Junior bacon and cheese, my favorite. American chicken sandwich or grab a big fish. Plus two small fries and two small drink. Double deal for my money and it have me a sing. One money, two combo. Burger King pick two, come back again. Yo, get BK double deal now on a Burger King. Burger King pick two, come back again. Yo.
Nine minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us. Well, we have some time, so we're going to take your calls. I was just about to say I don't remember the numbers. I used to remember the numbers on my head, but I don't. But I remember that the paper is right there. So our numbers are 876-630-937-124. That's 876-630-937-124. And our digital line, 618-8255. We will take your calls, yeah? 630-937-124 and 618-8255. Good morning, Fergie.
Yeah, it's Fergie from the Hills. I just listened to the minister a while ago, and he's a young man that I have a lot of respect for, and I think he has a lot of good passion and being good for Jamaica. There's some low-hanging fruits here. For instance, one, training. I think that I don't know whether they refuse to feel to, I don't know what to do. I've been crying like John the Baptist in the wilderness for hard to have some connection with the baking school at UTech, because I was trying to tell them that the baking school, the baking industry anywhere over the world is always one of the leading industry in any country in the world, right? And yet we have 98% of our bakers in Jamaica, and the workers in the baking industry in Jamaica, are not certified. And there's no opportunity for them to work in all 20 years in the business. And they don't have no little certificate that them can say, boy, this man is a good mixer, a door break operator, or what have you. And UTEC should be working together with that through the baking school up there.
But they could easily do that, though, Fergie. I find it surprising that they're not doing that, because Heart accommodates on-the-job certification. They'll come to wherever you're working as a baker, as you're putting on the table, and you go through a period of time where they observe you and all of that, and then they certify you, just like they do for persons who are construction workers.
Right. They call the apprenticeship system. I know about all that, you know. I've been looking for years. I've taken I remember taking about 4 workers only at one time, trying to get them organized and to. It's just that, I don't know, the people who doing the things that, if you don't have a passion for it, it don't make sense.
So are you saying,
they have the job.
Are you saying that they're not doing that sort of on-the-job certification for bakers?
I don't say they don't do it, but I don't know if any baker that is taking place. And I'm saying the baking industry employed over 12,000 workers. You think of it, the biscuit industry, right? The patty industry, the regular bread industry. I mean, you're talking about a lot of people, and 98% of them are not certified. I just can't figure it. You understand? And there's no utilization of the best equipped baking school in Latin America and the Caribbean, the regional baking school, which was established at UTEC. And I keep talking about it. I feel like John the Baptist in the wilderness are like Michael in the Blue Mountains on the coffee.
When you say you keep talking about it, Fergie, you've also reached out to the important people at PATH to express your concern?
Call them about 2 years ago. I made so many calls that after a while, somebody called me and tell me that why a troubling thing that don't trouble me, just leave it alone. But that's a backward step. I can't live in a country where I don't think of improving the lives of people, especially workers. You can't have 90% of our industry not trained and Heart is there. And we have not had a conversation with them. They need to have a conversation with UTEC. That school was donated by US Wheat Associates and the USAID, right?
Yes.
Because I was involved with the initial getting it to come to Jamaica. We had to beg, and thanks to the help of Dr. Sangster, who
Well, your voice has been heard this morning again, Fergie, on this matter that you say you have been stressing for some time. But I find it surprising, though, that the number you're putting out this morning, that so many people who are bakers are not certified, because PATH offers that on-the-job certification. They come to you, assess you, and all of that while you're working, and then certify you. But you've put out your concerns again this morning, Nationwide amplifying it for you.
Okay, Mr. Turner.
All right, Fergie. Thanks so much for calling.
Okay.
Thank you for calling. Dwayne, good morning.
Morning, Tanya. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Not as good as you. But good enough.
You're good, man.
Yeah, yours. Okay, this morning, yes. I heard you were talking about what the minister was saying about Portmore, and me feel something was moving around you. You said that, because the amount of different things that I heard. Why is it the thing so complicated?
What you consider complicated?
You're talking about the Portmore becoming a
Which part of it you think complicated?
No, because of signing at this and signing at that and this and that and...
Oh, then them things have to go on, man, Dwayne. Remember, it's a whole new parish you're about to create, So you have to make sure, all of the boundaries, them and all of that align. And then the other members of parliament who, some of the boundaries might be cutting over into theirs, cutting off a piece of theirs or not, who knows. They have to be in on the conversation as well. So that when it's all done and dusted, everybody's cool. So, for example, I got an update not long ago from the Director of Elections, Gospel Brown, because I was asking about the committees that has to have a representative from both the JLP and the PNP in terms of the Boundaries Forum and the Boundaries Advisory Committee. And he was saying that both sides, PNP and JLP, the ECJ is awaiting them naming their members to the Parish Boundaries Forum and the Parish Boundary Advisory Committee for the process to move forward, Portmore becoming a parish. So they have to be in on the conversation too. After the ECJ people go there and do their field assessment and all of that in terms of mapping what the boundaries will be, you have to have both the JLP and the PNP in on that conversation. About
but do they reach anywhere on that as yet, don't?
That's what I'm saying, that the Director of Elections provided an update not long ago to say that the ECJ, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, is awaiting the naming of members from both the JLP and the PNP to be on the Boundaries Forum, the Parish Boundaries Forum, and the Parish Boundary Advisory Committee.
You know the reason I'm calling you?
Yes.
Because of what you said after the whole interview.
Mm-hmm.
You said that sound like that now happen
right now.
Anytime soon.
Yes.
And the reason why I call about it is to say that if the JLP wants it to happen, then they have to start making things happen. I know them just started, but I mean.
But this leg of the run, not really enough for them controlling doing, meaning the field work and all of that is for the ECJ to do. But in terms of the conversations that have to be had after the field work is done about the boundaries and whether they agree with this or not and all of that, the committees coming on that leg. And I believe as well that the constituents, the people over there in Portmore and other areas that will be affected by these boundary alignments, they too will be in on the conversation to have their say again, even though it was indicated that consultations were had before. But they get an opportunity to speak again, I believe, whether they want to voice their concerns orally or written. So all of that has to happen too.
I hope it will be done within a year or two, in the next 5 years, at least.
Before the end of this current term.
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Know that the government and God is very long, but they are sure.
Here's what the hurdle will be doing. You see, when it gets to the point now where the ECJ is done with its field work and those boundaries are placed on the table, watch the conversations in those committee rooms with both sides arguing about the boundaries.
If that reach to any time close to the next election, it now go happen this 5 years. Can't tell you that.
Yeah.
I was out.
We'll see, Dwayne. We'll see.
Finally.
Yes.
I saw some work on Spanish Town Road. I don't know if it is the complete thing yet, because some places are touched out and some are not fully done. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's the full program layout yet. But
yes, you said Spanish Town Road?
Yes, I've driven it a few days ago, and I recognize that some part of it was smooth, and it's that they're doing some work. But I don't think that is the full layout of it. Maybe it's a patchwork. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope it's not as well. I know what you're talking about because I've driven there recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because as you said that I believe that Harborview from airport to Spanish Town, especially when you have tourists coming into this country, that stretch of road from, say, Harborview to Spanish Town, right, should have been one of the best looking roads.
I agree with you.
Coming from Mobile end, or coming from this thing, because people are coming into your country.
Yeah.
They want to see Harborview look brilliant. They want to see Tour look good, and Harborview is terrible.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, if you're driving and you don't certainly carry through your bush, because there's some hole.
Absolutely.
Going forward and backward, and then you have to keep on driving that road.
Yep. Yeah, man.
So I hope that they will just look at that road from airport straight to Spanish Town. That it must be one of the best looking road, because people are coming to our country and want to see the best.
Yep.
Best when they're coming.
You're right. Spanish Town Road has cost so many people tires. So many people. Including me.
And I want it to lay out and make the lanes right? Draw the white line so you can know the pen key, because the taxi man them drive back and forth.
Absolutely.
Over there, so you want to know where you are when you're driving. And I hope that one day I will see Stone Road looking like one of those highways in Jamaica.
All right, Dwayne.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for calling. What's that road where Ministry of Justice is?
Constant Spring?
Constant Spring Road. Okay. So Constant Spring Road, right before you get to Ministry of Justice, it seems the torrential rains, the flash flooding, has created a new pothole. Big.
Where? Right, coming from Africhi? Or coming from
that intersection right there.
That intersection right there.
Yes.
There's a hole in the middle of it?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Huge.
Damn.
So just putting a word out to the National Works Agency this morning, NWA. Yeah, man, that one is causing some problems there.
Yeah.
Huge.
Please. Who we have next, King? Good morning, Chris.
Morning.
Morning, Chris.
Morning, I'm begging you. Beg the people and give one important topic and talk about it and not stretch and not search more. I have one important one to talk about. You know, I never ruffle feathers during within the past month. But feathers need to be ruffled. We want a minister of pension. The pensioners are feeling hell. National security. People retire like me from 2023 and know you can have a full settlement of your pension. Money is in the accounts for you and you can get it, and you're not going to get it with any interest. I'm begging Minister Chang, I'm begging Civil Williams, I'm begging my own member of parliament, Xavier Main, step out, because this is the people's term. It is not your term this time. It is the people's term, and they must attend to the people. And that is why the voter, whilst we have an inflated voters list, that is why some people don't turn out. And they need to have somebody looking at the people's pension. What is happening? Why the people can't get their pension? Why is it that pension, you get our first payment and it take all another year and a half, 2 years to get it? I am calling on the Prime Minister to intervene in this one. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this. We have some association, past members association, and whilst I know their intention is good, they are not getting anything out of it. It's just meeting, going to funeral and saying hi to a sick brother and sick sister. I intend to open up an association to, I don't know what I'm going to call it, but it's to deal with all of these problems. Not teething pain anymore, then past teething pain. There are some belly sickness in our pensioners. People cannot retire since 2023 and all know your pension is sick. You'd serve 37 years, and when you serve, nobody, they call you 5 years before you submit your papers. And then at the end of the day, and the youngsters coming in, and I see my good friend Sanjay Michel with his crown. Congratulations to him being promoted. But we want to be promoted from the side where we work and save the money already. We had good intention, we serve well, and the police must be paid. I remember Mr. Bunting put up something, PNP mean police need pension. We need to get our payment. And a calling on the government and never ruffle feathers. But now I have to come public and I'm going to call and them need a minister of pension. Even if the wage bill have to go up a little bit more than what they're talking about now.
You are, Chris, you're a retired member of
Deputy Superintendent of Police, retired 2023, submitted all documents from 20. And I even know you can't get a settlement. And when you call the people at the Ministry of National Security, you don't have a receptive person like Ms. Cooper or Mrs. Keane, who was the permanent secretary back then. This man will be telling you, you call me too early, it's a Monday morning. They're not accepting calls.
What you saying?
Yes, they're not accepting calls. You have people like Glendon Thomas, Irvin Miller. Those were persons who will sit at night and work on policeman's salary when I was sitting around the negotiating table. Nowadays, it's hide and seek the people in plane.
I hear you.
They're not talking to you. They're not talking to you. You have a man that I don't want to call his name now. He must hear and listen. But I call his name tomorrow if you don't talk to me today. Because him tell you give me a reminder. When you give him a reminder, he don't do nothing. And then when tomorrow come, Monday you call him. Oh, it's early Monday morning. So you have to use a different phone number, call him when he don't know you, to talk to you. I am calling on the Minister of National Security, Mr. Chang, and Mr. Cuthbert. We need Miss Cuthbert not only to look at the prisons, but look at the retired police pension. I'm told it's 20 auditors they have. I said to Mr. Pinnock, if you have 20 auditors, put 2 of them to deal with the retired people money. And the rest, because people will retire every year. You're telling me that people is retiring and you have to be looking about them. So what about us? Who, when you get the money, it don't value again. The value gone. Is it that one pay us at a escrow account rate when you take so long to pay?
Yes.
Who can do the work? You run them out of the ministry because there are some people, Mr. Bruce Golding, kept in the ministry that still stay there. They shouldn't be there pulling up the screw, and when they know who you are, they don't look about your welfare.
I tell you what, Chris, because we're up on the time, and I hear your frustration, and I understand. You said you're going to make a call to that particular individual today. Call us back tomorrow and tell us what happened. And we'll see.
I'll give you his number too.
Yes.
When I call, I'll give you his number. I'll give Tana. I'll give Nora when she come on.
Give it to Nora, or you can leave it with our producer now, Michelle.
Yes, so and they have my number up there, you know. From Emily Cook's days, my number is up there. It's former chairman of the association. Because the associations now are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. And some can't do anything because they don't have any teeth. You understand?
All right, please leave your number with Michelle, Chris.
Yes, I will leave my number and I'm going to be talking with you.
Okay. Any more callers? Oh, we're out of time, but thank you so much for calling. Going to take a break here on NTM and come back with more.
Are you living with HIV? It's time to access treatment, get back to business, and begin your path to a brighter, healthier future. The Time, brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, is
8:27.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The Temperature by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside is
30 degrees in Capital City, Kingston, also 30 degrees out west in Montego Bay, and 25 in the cool hills of Mandeville.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Good morning, Jamaica. Welcome to Data Protection Matters, where we make privacy compliance accessible, manageable, and implementable. I'm your host, Chuka Emeka Cameron. Let's be real for a second. If you're in HR, you're not just managing people anymore. You're managing privacy landmines, investigations that could explode, exit interviews that leak data, training gaps that leave you exposed. Here is what nobody is telling you in HR training. You're not just hiring talent, you're holding the most sensitive data in your entire organization. And when something goes wrong, the spotlight is not on IT, not on legal, it's on you. Today, we're showing you exactly how the right DPO partnership transforms HR from your biggest privacy risk into your strongest competitive advantage. Picture this. It's 8 a.m. Monday morning. Your phone rings. It's the CEO. We just got a data subject access request from that employee we terminated last month. They want everything we have on them. Legal says we have 30 days. How quickly can you pull this together? Your stomach drops because you know the employee files are scattered across 6 different systems and you're not even sure what retention policy apply. Here's what's keeping you up at night. Payroll files with bank details, medical records, performance reviews, disciplinary notes, sensitive workplace complaints, background check results. One bad response, you're exposed. One mismanaged investigation, reputation damage. One forgotten training session, regulators knocking. Let me show you how a DPO partnership can change everything. Think about an employee investigation. Someone files a harassment complaint, high pressure, high stakes. Get it wrong? Trust the rules. Handle evidence improperly, legal liability explodes. Your DPO designs investigations frameworks that balance thoroughness with privacy protection. They ensure you're collecting only what is necessary, storing it securely, and disposing of it properly. Here's what I want every HR leader to understand. You're not just managing compliance requirements. You're building the foundation of trust that makes everything else possible. With a DPO partnership, employees feel genuinely protected, not just processed. Regulators see sophisticated privacy governance, not improvised procedures. Leadership recognizes HR as a strategic function, not just administrative support. You go from compliance chaos to competitive advantage, from privacy anxiety to privacy confidence. Let's talk numbers. The average cost of a privacy breach involving HR data? About $12 million to $8 million. The cost of a proper DPO partnership? Let's say anywhere from $2 million to $4 million annually. But here's the real return on investment. Peace of mind. Knowing that when you walk into the office tomorrow, you have expert guidance on every privacy decision. As an HR leader, you cannot afford to navigate privacy challenges alone. If you're asking yourself, do I have the privacy backup I need to protect my employees and my organization? The honest answer is probably no. That's exactly why companies across the Caribbean are choosing DPO as a service. Expert guidance when you need it most, independent oversight that regulators respect, ready to implement solutions that work. Visit Design Privacy and let's make privacy your competitive edge, not your compliance headache. Because great HR leaders deserve great privacy partners. At Design Privacy, we intentionally craft protection of data subjects' privacy into the design of every system. This Thursday, today, we are having our free webinar. Go to our website at designprivacy.io to register for your seat that is still available. We are here to help you protect data privacy rights, profit, and peace of mind. This is Data Protection Matters. I am Chuka Emeka Cameron. Keep protecting what matters most. Stay smart, stay secure. See you next time.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets.
The time by Grace Good Move is
8:33.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Break, Savannah Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891.
Tax and You is brought to you by the Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
.35. Thank you so much for staying with us. Well, it's Tax and You. Well, welcome to another episode of Tax and You here on Nationwide 90 FM. And the Tax and You is brought to you by the Tax Administration Jamaica. Today, our focus will be on employment tax credit, and we will dive into what it is and what are its benefits? Here to shed some light on this is Taxpayer Education Officer at the TAJ, Mr. Courtney Johnson. Good morning, Courtney.
Hi, good morning, Saeed. Good morning to you and to your listeners.
And how are you this morning, Courtney?
Well, I'm good. It's a cool day so far, and
good. Nice.
Having some breeze.
Nice. All right. So, explain to us now, what is this employment tax credit?
Okay, so employment tax credit is a income tax credit which is allowed to, we call, eligible persons. And eligible persons, there are persons who are involved in a trade, business, profession, vocation, or they do have rentals or approved hotel accommodations.
Okay. And so those are the people that benefit essentially. So is it the employee or the employer that benefits?
All right. So the employee tax credit is the beneficiary really is the employer.
Okay.
And a critical component of that is that you must be eligible for this tax credit. So if you're a business, trade, business, profession, if you carry out any of those activities, vocation, rental accommodation, then you qualify.
And what
Who doesn't qualify?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, what are the requirements, the eligibility requirements?
All right. So the eligibility requirements are that you must file at least one. You must, first of all, you must have employees. You must have employees in your establishment for the calendar year. And you must have filed at least one employer's monthly return, that is the S01, and paid it on time, filed on time, and paid on time. At least one. And then you file all your other 12 on time, you benefit as well. So it's about the employer filing and paying on time. In addition to that, the employer must have filed his or her, or if it's a company, then you must have filed your personal returns on time or your annual returns on time and make payments when they were due.
Mm-hmm. And based on that, how exactly does this tax credit help the company then, this business owner?
All right, great question. So if a company has 10 employees and each month they file these S01 returns and submit the amount payable for the employee and pay it on time, that is, if they pay January by the 14th of February, and they do the same for March, April, May, all the way to December. Once it is on time, they are allowed to claim those amounts that have been paid over on behalf of the employee, plus the employer portion. And there is a little catch to it. No, catch is a bad word, but there is a little twist to it. Mm-hmm. In that you can either claim all of those statutories or 30% of your income tax that is due and payable. That's how you benefit as an employer. You must have a profit where you can reduce this profit by this employee tax credit that we mentioned.
Okay. All right. And as it relates to the steps that employers have to take in order to access or even apply for this credit, what do they need to do? Outside of meeting the eligibility criteria, how do they actually operationalize getting this tax credit?
Okay, so most of it is automatic and it happens at the end of the year when you're filing your income tax return. There is a schedule on that return, it's called Schedule 7. Mm-hmm. And all you need to do is to go in and complete the applicable fields. So if you've only filed 7 S01s on time, then you can only claim 7 months. If you only did 1 on time, then you're not allowed to claim 7 or 12. So you go into Schedule 7 and you fill out the applicable fields, and the credit will automatically carry over to reduce your statutory income, thus reducing your taxable amount payable, and it reduces your income tax.
Okay. All right. And is there anything else? Of course, this is the any other business part of the segment as usual. Is there anything else that you'd like our listeners to know about this employment tax credit?
Yes, sure, Sai. The employment tax credit is available only to eligible persons, as we mentioned before. And eligible persons does not include entities who are already under under an incentive scheme, like they're already getting a benefit by being a part of an existing incentive scheme, or entities who are regulated by the Bank of Jamaica, the OUR, the Ministry of Finance, etc., those regulatory bodies. So if you are regulated, it does not apply to you. And if you don't operate a trade, business, profession, vocation, or an approved rental of hotel accommodation by the Jamaica Tourist Board, then it does not apply to you. Of course, somebody might ask, okay, what if I'm on the Jamaica Stock Exchange? Do I also get that benefit? The answer is no. You don't get a benefit because you are already under an incentive scheme, whereby if you're under Jamaica Stock Exchange, you already get 5 years income tax free, and for the next 5 years you get half of that income tax free as well. And then the next 5 years, you start paying taxes. So for the first 10 years, those persons under the junior stock exchange would have had that benefit. Okay. Also, for persons who are under the Urban Renewal Incentive Scheme, they are also benefiting. However, if they should take any of those buildings downtown and remodel and renovate them, that's an incentive. But if they rent those shops, there is a further incentive to be gained from it. So I think it makes it quite equitable, and persons can tap into it. Yes, that's about what we need to know. We do have sessions on these. We do have where we go in depth. So persons can actually check our website for the next available online seminar that we have on the employment tax credit.
All right. Well, Sir Johnson, thank you for all the information on the employment tax credit and what it is and its benefits and all. Of course, as usual, you give us very good information in tax and due. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
You're most welcome, Saeed, and it's a pleasure speaking with you today.
Good.
Tax and You was brought to you by the Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
17 minutes to 9 o'clock.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King. Order the new cheesy fries from Burger King and load it your way with bacon, jalapenos, crispy onions, or extra cheese. Limited time only.
You work
that time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Happy birthday greetings going out to, again, the Member of Parliament for Southeast Clarendon and the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr., celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday again to the Minister, coming from his wife, his family, and all of the peeps over there in his ministry. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to our friends on Facebook. Happy birthday, Jagaru Robinson, Bill Edwards, Annie Smith. Happy birthday greetings also going out to Princess Sweets, Olivia Smith, Richard Robotham, Kingsley Clark, Danique Gaza Purple Reed. Happy birthday to you, Danique. And happy birthday greetings going out to Tiffany Johnson, Louis Jaded Blackwood, Stacy and Overcomer King Oliver. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for all of you a lovely one.
And happy birthday to Christopher Bowen, the former chairman of the ICF officers. Happy birthday to you, sir. And happy birthday to
Nothing birthday.
Oh God, that's hilarious. And happy birthday to Denisha Johnson. Greetings coming from Ricardo and all your children. Have an absolutely amazing day.
Well, good morning to our caller, Chris Bowen, from earlier. And I join you in saying happy birthday as well to Denisha Johnson. Happy birthday. Terrence Jones is sending happy birthday. This one says to our lovely mother, Mrs. Blassant Jones, aka Miss Ven, from your children and grandchildren, saying to you, love you, Mom. So happy birthday, Miss Ven, coming from your children, including the one who wrote this message here in the YouTube chat, Terrence Jones. Anybody else celebrating their big one today? Is it your birthday?
Happy birthday to my friend Dwayne Stewart there in Florida. Those greetings coming from Charlene Headley.
PNN Construction Services Limited here in the YouTube chat, sending happy birthday. This one says to my friend, or my friend's daughter, Rickay Cunningham in Baltimore, wishing her a wonderful day. So happy birthday to you, Rickay. This one coming from PNN Construction Services Limited and your family. Happy birthday.
Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King. Have you tried the Burger King's new cheesy fries? Get the best tasting fries topped with a creamy jalapeno cheese sauce. Get yours today.
Celebrating a birthday today, Yard Boy says, listening from Ohio, today's my birthday. Hey to you, Yard Boy, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a good one. Steve Hutchinson sending happy birthday greetings to Paulette PJ Jackson in Mandeville. Good morning to you, Paulette PJ Jackson there in Mandeville. Happy birthday to you, coming from Steve Hutchinson. Marva Thomas sending happy birthday to her friend Annie Smith, wishing you many more with health and prosperity. Oh no, oh wait, Marva, it's not our YouTuber Annie Smith's birthday, it's another Annie Smith.
Yeah, it's not.
So hold on to your birthday, and when it's the YouTuber Annie Smith's birthday, you drop that back again. I did see another Hyacinth Grant sending happy birthday to son Prince, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you, coming from your mom, wishing for you a lovely one. And Janesta Johnson sending happy birthday. Oh, Janesta is just wishing everybody a happy birthday. Happy birthday to everyone. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your special day. Janesta says. Marigold sending happy birthday to Trisha. Trisha, happy birthday to you from Marigold. Wishing for you a good day as well. And Derek Scott sending happy birthday to granddaughter Yana, who is 4 years old today. Good morning, Yana, wherever you are. Happy birthday to you, coming from Granddad Derek Scott. So those are all the birthdays. Happy birthday to you if you're celebrating your birthday today. If it is your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well.
Right to my heart. Without saying a word, you can light up the dark. Try as I may, I can never explain what I hear when you don't say a thing. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me wherever I fall. You say it best when you say nothing at all.
And a quick one going out to Neville Whitaker, the councillor up there in Gordon Town, that's in East Rural St. Andrew. Happy birthday to you, sir. Hope you have a good one.
Happy birthday. And that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning, NTM. Thanks so much to our technical operator, the one musical maestro, Jermaine King, our super producer, Michelle McCrae Smith, and our super editor, Kimone Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Online with George. 10:30, the semi-final of the NNN quiz competition. 3 competitors this morning. The defending champion, Robian Williams, going up against the 2 gents, Ricardo Brooks, George Sylvester Davis. Nobody asked me that. The whole of them.
I'm winning for the winner.
Good answer.
More hear the odds this morning. More hear the odds.
Yeah. But it's going to be a good one. You still have time to hop on over and sponsor the NNN quiz competition. The phone line or the phone number 630-1210. Call up the sales team, man.
Yeah.
And get on board for this amazing quiz competition.
Well, I can say unequivocally.
Yes.
I don't care what the results are. I'm putting my money on Robian Williams.
All right.
I'm betting my money on the woman in the race.
Woman power.
I love woman, you know. I'm all for loving the ladies.
That's right.
Yeah. My money is on Robian. Robbie, you got it.
All right,
You
Robbie.
got it. Side believing you. Yeah? All right.
All right.
That's a fact.
I'm Tana Thomas.
And I'm Said Bernard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
But when you hold me near, you drown out the crowd. Try as they may, they can never define what's been said between your heart and mine. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.